Hello world, and welcome to Elevated Intuition. Today we are looking at the energy and messages that you need to know about for next week. This is a pick a card reading, which means that you get to pick the number, card, or object. With your intuition, you use your intuition to do that. And then I have the timestamps down below in the description, and I will use my intuition to read those cards for you. If you like to pick with objects, I'll be placing the objects here in a moment. Oh, the only other thing I wanted to let you know about is this card is different than when you click on your pile, you're going to have a different card under it. It's just because I shuffle these on camera. So we have the full, I've actually already done the readings. Anyway, so for card number one, group number one, the object that goes with it is a crystal. This is a black moonstone egg. For group number two, the crystal that goes with it, this is orange calcite. And I could have done the other cards, but you'll see the crystals kind of blend in with the other cards, so that's why I thought these would be a nice contrast. And for group number three, this one here is desert rose. So take a moment, pause the video if you need to, choose your group. Again, the timestamps are down below, and I will see you in your reading. Hello, group one. So if you picked the moonstone egg, you are in the right place. I have three crystals, and that it's too many. So I'll just move that out of the way here. Okay, for group one, the first card for you, that you need to know for next week, messages for next week. We have wisdom. Have you ever been told that you're wise beyond your years? Now is the time to call upon your inner fairy wisdom to help you with a challenge. So we just have opportunities here. We don't have challenges are just opportunities. They're opportunities for growth, and they're opportunities to show your wisdom. Use your wisdom. So think wisely. I also feel like wisdom, well, first of all, we have got this lovely owl on here. So if you're looking for messages from your spirit guides, sometimes they pop up as owls. Just to kind of let you know that they're around, that they hear you, that they're working for you even when you're not all there, like when you're sleeping. And as far as wisdom goes, though, sometimes we have this, we just react to things emotionally, and I feel like wisdom is just telling you to take a deep breath and make wise choices. Think about it logically. Most of the time people, oh, there's way too, well, if there's two cards here, we'll take them. Make wise choices. Two of Swords is a card about choices. We've got Ace of Wands. Oh, yeah. All right, so I only wanted to take 4 cards, but we get a little bit extra, and that is okay. Nice. So 7 of Pentacles, you probably have been working a little bit too hard right now. 7 of Pentacles is kind of like you put in a lot of work. Maybe you're thinking that it's not going to pan out. 4 of Wands, though, would indicate that you are actually in a very stable position. You might need to actually turn, if something isn't working out for you, walk away. Go go grab a coffee with a friend. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you've been putting a lot of work into something and it's just not panning out, you're watching that water and it's just not boiling, watch pot never boils. You need to trust that the work that you've put in thus far will make a difference. And you might need to walk away from it. And you might be getting some mixed messages. We've got the King of Swords in reverse here. When things aren't working out, you know, we can kind of feel a little bit helpless. We can kind of feel like we're a little bit out of the loop, that the communication coming in, or we're waiting for communication to come in and we're just not hearing back. And it's just a moment for you to relax a little bit. You've put in your effort, you've done what you needed to do. If it's not panning out, you might have a choice to make. This is a kind of like a heart over head choice to make here with the Two of Swords. And you know what? You may not have been fully into this work that you've been putting in anyway. Sometimes we just kind of know that we need to take another direction with it, that we need to do something a little bit different, but it's kind of hard because we've traveled down one path so far. It's kind of hard to go back and revisit something that isn't working, but use your intellect, use your wisdom. Is this really working for you? Because the Seven of Pentacles and the King of Swords would indicate that it's something that's kind of out of your control that's pushing in here, and you need to make some other choices. And maybe that choice is to walk away for a minute. If you're getting overwhelmed. I remember when we used to work in a very fast-paced environment, and it was like, do this, do this, do this, do this, and then all of a sudden we would get handed so much work and it needed to be done by the end of the day, and it's like, it's Friday, what are you guys doing? And instead of getting worked up, my coworker and I, we would just go get a cup of coffee. We're like, okay, we're going to take a break now. And then by the time that we came back, we had our plan, and we knew what we needed to do. So even though it seemed like we had so much work, sitting there in that emotion and being overwhelmed by it isn't helpful. You need to step away sometimes. You need to get that new perspective. And the Two of Swords, maybe you can't make a decision because you need that perspective. I love this card because we've got the rocks here in the water, and we've got the paper boat, and we've got the scissors. So we've kind of got rock, paper, scissors going on here. And you know, with rock, paper, scissors, sometimes those decisions, when you throw out a rock, a paper, or scissor, it doesn't really matter. It's all kind of the same decision. You just have to go with it. You just have to make one. Again, though, it's kind of like trust yourself, trust your heart, trust the path that you're going on. And then now the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is a new path, is a new beginning. But look at how like you're getting signs that things are flourishing on this path. I love how it's these Wands cards that we have upright. Wands are, the suit itself is about taking action. It's about taking action on something that inspires you. It's about following that creativity, that inspiration. And I'm wondering if over here you're feeling like you're lost control of this work situation or this project because you don't feel like you're being, I don't want to say challenged. I think it's challenging in its own way, but I don't think it's necessarily feeding your soul. I don't think it's feeding your creativity, feeding that piece of you that you need. And that's why it might be feeling like overwhelming here with the King of Swords in reverse. But that's why you need to pick up those swords and make a new decision and decide on the path decide the path for yourself. So that's what these are. Let's see. I'm going to pull two more cards out of here and see what we get. What do we have for group one? What other messages do we have for group one this week? Group one. Whoop. Okay, I think this one wants to come out. Gales of November. This is the Great Lake Oracle, by the way. Oh, man, you are just getting extra cards after extra cards. Okay, so we've got Mackinac Bridge, and then we've got Lake Superior Agate. Yeah, so interesting. I just want to move these down because I'm going to move these cards up here after we talk about them so we can see the whole spread together. It makes sense that Gales of November comes in over here. it will. I mean, it is, especially over the Seven of Pentacles and the King of Swords. I mean, look at this. Gales of November. You don't want to be caught in that. It is like the wind can get up to like 60 miles per hour across the Great Lakes. There's, you know, water temperature changes. It can get very, very stormy. And of course, the seas are very rough, or the rough, and they're churning. And the reason for that is there's change. So things change. And this is change within the different temperatures because we're, you know, they're moving into the winter season. So it indicates that there's a change here, a change going on, but it's necessary. It's a very necessary change, because when we've got the Seven of Pentacles, it feels like you're working and you're not getting anything done, and it's just not working out, or you're working really, really hard and you're not getting the help that you need, or you're not making the headway that you really, really need. And the King of Swords would indicate that you feel like a little bit out of control, and the Gales of November would indicate that. But then we get Mackinac Bridge and we get Lake Superior Agate. These are very much more calming. And if you look over here at these cards, they're much more calming cards. I mean, even the Two of Swords, when I'm looking at Lake Superior Agate, because this is supposed to be a stone that is all about calming, that is about just feeling safe and secure and feeling connected. And I don't always think of the Two of Swords in this way, but when I have this card and I see her standing here with her eyes closed, and she seems very, very calm and almost kind of like focused in her mind. She's getting her mind focused here. I feel like that's you, and that's really important to remember, that you are secure, you are safe, you are actually somebody who's very, very powerful, and that's indicated here in this Mackinac Bridge. It's interesting too that the Mackinac Bridge comes in between the two, because, you know, a bridge is something that joins things. The Mackinac Bridge, this is something that withstands this kind of terrible weather, and it's an engineering feat, it's an engineering marvel that connects land, that connects things. And I think it's important for you to remember your place in this, your strength, and your connection, that you connect things, that you can connect this experience over here with a new path if you so choose, if that is what looks like you need to do, if that's where you need to go. So you are safe and secure. Yes, we're going to have some challenges, we're going to have some changes, but I feel like you're going to move past that successfully, very successfully, with this choice that you're going to make on this new beautiful path. And you're going to see here things bloom for you right away. You're going to see results right away, rather than sitting here and kind of in this spiral downwards of where you're like, of maybe intrusive thoughts and negative thinking, of where you're feeling like you don't know what you're doing. So first step is to walk away. Think about the choices that you have before you, remain calm, and then choose your new path with wisdom that you know you have. So we're not going to overreact with emotions. We're going to choose our path with wisdom. So those are the messages I have for you for next week, Group 1. I hope that you have a fantastic week, and that you see like the light at the end of this tunnel here, because there's a lot of opportunity for you. Thank you. Hello, Group 2. It's so funny, this stone kind of blends right in on this card. This is the orange calcite. It's very striking, very pretty orange. I chose it because I have this orange candle here. So group 2, if you chose the orange calcite, the first card, first message that comes out for you for next week, we have look in a book. Whenever you have a question, right now, you'll find the answer in a book. The words you find will bring you the insight that you seek. So, sometimes I feel like we can substitute a book for some social media, but I feel like this time a book is really kind of grounding for you. I feel like it's going to help you just take a moment, take a break, a pause. And in this one, it's, this image is so fanciful. And there's a lot of fantasy really around it. So it's not just, what is it? Fiction, nonfiction. It's just not nonfiction. If you want to reread Pride and Prejudice, reread Pride and Prejudice. Yes, I assumed that you read Pride and Prejudice. And one more. Wow. Okay. This has been happening where I've been getting way more cards than I ask for. We'll get 6 here. But we'll take it. So interesting, we've got 8 of Pentacles here. 2 of Cups reversed, 8 of Pentacles, King of Cups. So there might be some turmoil here within relationships. And we've got the 2 of Cups reversed. Maybe even in the past, like a breakup that you're thinking about and that you want to get over. Now, listen to me. There is no timeline for getting over a breakup. This could be something that pops into your mind from like 10, 15, 20 years ago. There's people who believe that they were connected in a past life and now they still don't have things resolved around them. And it's believable because breakups and relationships, they hit us hard. They hit us in our hearts. So this could be from the very past. I'm not saying that the relationship that you're in currently is about to break up. But it feels like we're not quite over it yet. There's still some work that needs to be done. And with the King of Cups over here, the King of Cups is somebody who really protects himself, protects his heart. He might sometimes come off as unfeeling and unemotional. And if this person is really checking in on your social media or those types of things, they might think that you're very cold-hearted because you're walking, away from them. And you may even be contacted by somebody in your past. But I feel like the King of Cups is not today, Satan, and walking away from that, because I think you need to remember all the hard work you've done on yourself and the growth that you have to walk away and get away from this. Now, I said this could be something from the distant past. It doesn't have to have just happened, because sometimes we're reminded, our song comes up, or a belief that we have pops up and you're like, wait a second, where did I get that? And you realize that it's related to this person. Or maybe we have a high school reunion and that kind of thing pops up. Or even in your current relationship, when your current significant other does something and for a moment it elevates your anxiety for a second, because you're like, that other person did this to me. It's breathe. This is about moving forward. And it's funny how books are, how many times have you read a book and just fallen in love with the main character? Just saying that might be just a way to give your mind a break, to move it out of thinking about the past, because sometimes they just get stuck there and we need to move forward. So reading something might really help you. Page of Wands reversed, 10 of Wands reversed, and the Queen of Swords. So coming out of this really victorious. I love that we have the King of Cups and the Queen of Swords here. Is just you being a much stronger person. And yeah, we have moments of weakness. We have moments of relapse. The 10 of Wands, this is a release of a burden that you've just been picking up and picking up and picking up things here and there and there. And probably not even realizing that you're shouldering all of this burden, you're shouldering all this weight, whether that is like negative thinking, whether that really is some sort of burden, like your ex still has your password to your Netflix or something and you're paying for that, or their internet or their phone or something. And it's just kind of like a time to release those things, that it doesn't, that, you know, maybe you tried. When the Page of Wands is here, and then we have the 10 of Wands, I feel like you're dealing with somebody who's really immature. This could also be a job situation. It doesn't have to be a love interest or a past love situation. Could be just you know, when you broke up with a job, you had like a particular boss that was really horrible. Like all of these things still apply. They're calling you back now and they're like, hey, you want to come back to work? Nope. I do not. Because we're always dealing with people, and the Two of Cups at its heart, even though if I am reading a love reading, I'm going to read the Two of Cups as a couple. Yes, obviously. But this is just your next week, so it doesn't have to be revolve around love or somebody from your past coming up, or a relationship that didn't work out. But we have relationships with everyone. I mean, this could be, like I said, a past coworker, a past boss. You know, it's anybody that you've had a relationship with and you guys just didn't see eye to eye and it didn't work out. And you got to move past it. You got to get away from it. Give yourself a break. Take a moment to like indulge in maybe some fantasy, which is this book here. And then I love the Queen of Swords. I know about the King and the Queen. These two particular are really about boundaries. The King of Cups, you can see he is an island. He's out here on his own, in his own emotional thing. He's not letting people get to him emotionally. And then the Queen of Swords, she's here on this hill. She wields a sword and she's like, nope, you are not getting to me with your negative thinking and your negative thoughts. Oops. Sorry, I'm dropping things here because I have a bunch of decks around me. Whoops. So what else do we have for group 2? What else do we need to tell group 2? I'm just going to cut the deck. There we go. We're going to take this one. Beach glass, beautiful. And the Sleeping Bear Dunes. Both of these cards represent journey. So that is really cool that they come out. And I love beach glass over here. You know what beach glass is, right? It's that, you know, things end up in the ocean or in the water, in this case, the Great Lakes, and they are molded by it. They're molded by that journey and they come out more beautiful, and they have a very beautiful, you know, they're kind of repurposed because it was like a bottle at some point, and now it's this beautiful beach glass that your journey has changed you, that you're transforming. But the great thing about being you versus beach glass is you get to dictate your journey versus how it comes out. But the point is that you're coming out more beautiful, that you have, this is etched and formed and softened and molded, but it's beautiful nonetheless. And you're a different person than you were before. You're a different person through this journey. So that's what's important, is embracing the beauty in the journey. And then the Sleeping Bear Dunes, kind of the same thing a little bit. We've got peaks and valleys. This is a beach along the Great Lakes, and the sand has just kept being deposited over there over the years and years and years. So there are these massive dunes that are on Lake Michigan. And the sand has just built up there. So there's layers upon layers of sand, but it's not flat. We've got valleys and peaks, and we climb and we descend and we go through the journey. And there is an affirmation that goes with this that I love. I will walk through the peaks and the valleys with my head held high. So yeah. You know, this person may have put you through something, but remember that you have come through, you've put the work in, and you are basically at a peak right now. Having walked away from them, don't forget that. And if you just need to be like, no, I don't need to go out with you this weekend, I am going to read my book. Or I don't need that job that you guys didn't value me while you were there. I don't think you're going to value me coming back, so I'm going to read my book. I'm going to be I'm creating my fantasy. I'm creating my world where I know that I have moved through so much and I'm coming out powerful and victorious. So that's what I have for you, group 2. It looks like there is some shedding of some old things that are no longer working anymore. And that's okay. And that's really lovely to see you new emerging. And I love the butterfly here on the end of her sword. Because there's a transformation here that has taken place. She's basically the queen of butterflies at this point, and so are you. So thank you so much for being here with me, and I will see you at the next reading. Hello, group 3, the Desert Rose. You know, this kind of happened with the Caribbean Calcite, where it just blends in with this card. I pull one card first and then shuffle the rest on camera. So I actually do these readings before I do my intro. That's why it's on this card. But this is the card that came out for you for messages for next week. We have protection. The fairies of protection are shielding you with a magical fairy ring of love and light. Practice psychic protection before embarking upon any spiritual work. And it's not just spiritual work. And it's even just when you're walking into a situation, even the grocery store, where you know that there aren't going to be like the happiest of people. You might want to just protect your energy, especially if you're empathic. So empaths are people who read other people's energy. The hard thing about being an empath sometimes is that when you come across some negative energy, you don't realize if it's yours or somebody else's. If you are feeling negative energy, you might be picking up on somebody else's. There was an instance for myself where it was like just out of the blue, all of the sudden, and it was really scary. I had this feeling like I had suicidal thoughts. And when something like that doesn't make sense, like what the heck, where did this come from? Instead of getting mired in those thoughts or that energy or those emotions, stop for a moment and think, are these actually mine? Or is this somebody else? Now, the positive of a situation like that is if you can figure out whose energy is rubbing off on you, then you're able to maybe contact them, help them, be kinder to them. And thank goodness in my situation, I did what I could for the person. I just knew that, she was kind of very prickly on the outside, but just really needed kindness from me. And I think that really helped. So, and it helped me to understand that it wasn't mine. But when we put in Four of Pentacles here, is kind of like building a fence around yourself. It can kind of almost be a hoarding sign, but like this week might not be the best for you to share. Maybe not even share your ideas here with the Page of Swords in reverse. You know, we have so many things that we're sharing online nowadays, and we can be really vulnerable and open to other people if we allow it. But that's the key in there. If we allow it, you have to allow it. And so now we're gonna disallow it. We're going to put that boundary around ourselves. Or you may not even share it at all. That's what the Page of Swords is talking about. Four of Pentacles is kind of like an energy encompassing itself. Sometimes it talks about hoarding or holding on to things. And in this instance, like, we have a reason why we would do that, because we're protecting our energy, we're protecting, and money is an energy in and of itself. So we're protecting our energy, we're holding it tight, we're keeping it tight to the vest because we are protecting ourselves. Page of Swords is somebody who would go out there and wouldn't care, wouldn't put the boundaries around himself. And when he would, because he's kind of a young person, kind of naive, maybe novice, maybe immature a little bit, and would just go out there with maybe the best of intentions, but when he hit negativity or a wall, it would just crush him. He wouldn't know what to do with it. He doesn't have a shield. He's just a page. He's not a knight. He doesn't know how to protect himself. He doesn't have the armor. So, and then Swords energy is thoughts. It's communication. It's those emails. It's, you know, you probably don't answer all of your phone calls. If you don't recognize the number, you may not answer it. And this next week, it may not be the time to do that. I also feel like it's really important to not click on any random links in your emails. If you get, now we'll even get texts. I get these crazy text messages from Amazon, and they're not really from Amazon, but I just feel like there's somebody who's trying to contact you, and it's not in your best interest. And it is completely fine to be, to I don't discriminate, to discern who has contact with you and who doesn't, who you will allow to share your energy and who doesn't. And when you have like an odd energy, like I was talking about, come in, is that really appropriate for you in this situation? Is it really your energy? Is that how you want to feel too? Like, I want to feel amazing all of the time. So when I go into a situation like the grocery store, you know, just my daily life, even driving, I don't let other people dictate how I'm going to feel in those situations. I want to have an amazing time. I want to have a good time. I want to find what I want to find. I want to get what I want to get. I set the intention though, when we go out on our drive. I'm going to set the intention. I'm going to have a great time. I'm going to listen to the radio. I'm going to listen to the songs that I want to hear. This is at least going to be productive in that way, that I'm going to have fun on this drive, that I'm not going to worry about who is going back and forth, that I'm going to just let everybody in. Do you know how nice it is to just decide that you're going to let everybody in traffic? There's room for everyone. We're going to get where we're going to go. We're going to let everyone in. We've got the Hierophant in reverse, and we've got the Wheel of Fortune over here. These are two major arcana cards, or major energies. The Hierophant in reverse would talk about possibly somebody, a guru, somebody that you look up to may have let you down. And don't take it personally. It's not about you. When I see the Hierophant in reverse and the Page of Swords in reverse here, you know, if you're following somebody, whether that's online, politics, maybe it's in your personal life, maybe it's a boss, maybe it's some sort of leader, in a club or a game, and they're not always going to be at their best. There's that old saying about never meet your heroes, because they're going to let you down. So when you put somebody on a pedestal, at some point they're going to let you down. And the Hierophant in reverse are those leaders. A lot of times they're spiritual leaders. When we have protection around ourselves, like, listen, not everybody is 100% all the time. You might be listening to some of my readings and I might let you down at some times. I'm sorry. I don't mean to, but our energies don't always match. And you have to use your discernment. You have to protect yourself, whether that's me, we're having, well, basically a one-way conversation. I'm sure you have thoughts that you would communicate back to me, but we're having like this exchange of energy, we'll say, right now. When you exchange energy with anybody, you have to decide how that is going to affect you, how that's going to hit you, if it's meaningful, if it means something to you, if you're going to take it in. And just because somebody holds themselves up as some sort of an authority, just because I put a message out here on YouTube, doesn't mean I know what I'm doing. You have to decide if they do. And it's something that's ongoing, unfortunately. You can't just decide, hey, this person knows what they're doing today, and then you might just be open to that they could let you down tomorrow, or that maybe this week is not necessarily your energy. You're your own Hierophant. Be your own Hierophant. Be your own spiritual guide. Be your own spiritual leader. Not everybody's going to hit 100% of the time. But I love the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is a card of karma. It is a card of ups and downs. And when you look at this, we've got some ups and downs here. But it's more of a spiral. I love this one in particular, that we've got the spiral in here, because just because we are going in these cycles, just because we're going in this wheel, just because sometimes we're at the top, sometimes we're at the bottom, and these little creatures actually represent different zodiac signs. So as we're moving through the zodiac, which is the year, which is a cycle, as we're moving through that, sometimes things bloom, sometimes things die, sometimes things, I'm just thinking of our agricultural cycle. Sometimes we have to put some work in. Sometimes we have to water it. Sometimes, things grow. Sometimes something comes along in the middle of the night and eats it. Sometimes the bugs get it. But we have this whole ups and downs cycle. Everything is cyclical, and we need to, sometimes we're on top, sometimes we're not. But the point here with the Wheel of Fortune is that's going to happen. You're going to take the wheel now, though, and guide yourself, because the person that you entrusted with the wheel, maybe they're not on their best game right now. Maybe it's not their best effort that they're putting out there. Let's see here. I'm just going to get 2 more cards for you. You know what? These aren't the best jumping out, so we're going to put the intention. Yeah, Edmund Fitzgerald and Anchor. Look at that. That's interesting. So the Edmund Fitzgerald was and I kind of feel like it's related to this Hierophant. It was a ship that went down. I think it was in the 70s, and I think it was in Lake Superior, Michigan. And it was in a really bad storm, and it went down. But it was a huge ship, and they thought that it was safe. Kind of much like the Titanic in a way. There is an affirmation that goes along with this. It is, I will surrender to the moments that are hard. So sometimes it kind of really is like this karma card. It really is kind of this Wheel of Fortune, that sometimes we just have to go with things so that we can come out the other side. At times we think we are mighty and that we can withhold the storm. We are often caught off guard by waves the universe throws at us. We can try to batten down the hatches, but often our loads are heavy with burden. This card represents the need to surrender in your life, before you sink. So you got to do it before you sink. So when you see it coming, because I feel like you see it coming and you might have some doubts about yourself, but don't. You need to act. And I think you know what you need to do. It's just sometimes we get paralyzed by that. But don't go down with the ship. We're not sinking. We're going to surrender to the situation or feelings at hand, the ones that make you feel weighted down with heavy hatches. Only then will you find a port where you can begin unpacking the cargo that has been holding you back. So this is also about carrying too much, carrying that load. And you're just responsible for yourself here. And then we have the anchor, which is number 5. There is an affirmation that goes along with the anchor. It is, I am anchored in what makes me grow. We talked about growing in the growing season. There are times in our lives when we feel disconnected. We can work hard towards achieving contentment, but still never feel like we have reached solid footing. This anchor card represents that need to feel grounded, that yearning to drop an anchor to feel settled. Work on grounding yourself in practices that will nurture the things you need most in your life. Trust in the comfort that a good anchor will always hold you as you sway in the ever-changing moments of life. So we're letting go of baggages and we're making ourselves feel grounded. I kind of feel like the Hierophant is here because if we're following somebody else and that may not, you don't want to go down with their ship. You have to make your own choices is what I'm getting here. Protect yourself. And just because you might feel like you're out of your depth and you don't know what's going on, well, then if you have burdens, we need to release those. We need to let them go, and you need to protect yourself. So that's what I have for you, group 3. I hope that you have a fantastic week. Just remember, like this Wheel of Fortune, just as quickly as things feel like they're going down, like they can feel like they're going up as well. And I feel like when it's upright at the end of your reading, that when you come in here and you feel like you're in turmoil, I feel like the end of your week is going to end up like you're going to end up on top. It's just, I kind of feel like I'm like, oh no, our Hierophant. I wish they we didn't meet our heroes. I wish they didn't let us down. But I feel like it's necessary for you to find the power and the purpose inside of yourself. So that's what I have for you, group 3. I hope that you have a fantastic week. Again, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next reading.